So we're all kind of concerned that the global banking system is going to be collapsing. And I'm worried about whether or not the money in my bank is safe. And then I have this story from the Evening Standard. Gender fluid Credit Suisse director named on FT list of top 100 women in business. Okay. You know, the New York Times ran a fact check. I think it was the New York Times. And they were like, conservatives and right-wing personalities have claimed that wokeness is the reason that Silicon Valley Bank went under. Fact check, not true. And I'm like, how do you fact check an opinion? The opinion is they had woke programs and no chief risk assessment officer. They had no one analyzing their risk, but they had people going around giving lectures on wokeness. Now we have this. Look, I don't care what this guy does. I don't care who he is. I don't care if he's a she, he, her, them, they, whatever. Okay? The point is, this is another example of exactly what we're saying, that these people prioritize this over running their business. And now the big news is that Credit Suisse is on the verge of imploding. Well, congratulations. This is what happens. But, my friends, as we watch the global banking system collapse, many of us may rejoice. I can simply tell you this. While the iron law of get woke, go broke may be true, the inverse law is also true of ditch woke, get paid. I don't know what you'd call it because get woke, go broke is just so perfect, but ditch, drop woke, no woke, get paid. I don't know. Make money. How about that? Look at this one. How Netflix's woke reversal saved it from going broke. Streaming giants stopped the rot by dumping right on shows about male pregnancy and backing Dave Chappelle's confrontational comedy. Hey, here you go. Netflix quietly dumps Cyndi Lauper kids show about non-binary bison. Doesn't surprise me that Netflix has quietly dumped the first preschool show that has a non-binary character coming out. Non-binary is not a thing. People have just made up an identity and then say they are it. That's fine. I don't care what you call yourself, but it's not a physical thing. It's a social thing only that you decided it was. And if you can decide that it is, then I can decide that it is not. And I can also decide that other things that are not are. So how about there's non-binary, there's trinary, there's quadinary. I can just make it up. If you can make it up, so can I, right? Anyway, Netflix is getting rid of this stuff. According to the show's creator, Chris Nee, the series was not given any promotion before its release. Nee, a two-time Kidscreen Award winner and Emmy nominee, tweeted on Wednesday addressing the cancellation, claiming that Netflix quietly dumped the show due to its inclusion of a non-binary character. That is to say, these individuals are explicitly stating that Netflix was like, yo, this stuff is going to cost us a lot of money. Get rid of it. One Twitter user criticized the show's portrayal of a non-binary character, writing, what a message to send to young girls in particular. Others praised the show for its representation of non-binary people. Nee, who is a lesbian and mother herself, has been an advocate for greater representation of LGBTQ plus characters in children's media. Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything, okay? Then we have this from Timcast.com. Disney's ultra woke Willow series canceled after one season. Disney Plus has canceled its ultra woke Willow based on the iconic 1988 film of the same name. The live action spinoff featured a transgender actor and heavily focused on a gay romance between two main characters. I got a story for you guys. As you all know, probably by now, because I've said it 12 times or whatever, I like to go hang out at the casino. I've been hanging out at the casino for a really long time. And I always tell people, calm down. Casinos are not that bad. I go to Dave & Buster's. We go to the pool hall. You set aside a little bit of money to play games with, and you leave. It's your entertainment budget. It's a fun thing to do on the weekends. I'm hanging out at the poker table because Hold'em's a lot of fun. And this guy mentions that he likes the show The Last of Us. And I said, it's a really great show. And he's like, have you seen the last episode? I'm like, yeah, I totally watched it. Did you see what happened? And I was like, oh, man, the season finale is tonight. Yes. And then he goes, the show's really great. Then he looks around at the table, except for that one episode. And then I start laughing. And I was like, I think I know which episode you're talking about. And he goes, yeah. And then I'm like, I don't think we're allowed to talk about this stuff at the poker table. The poker tables have a no politics rule because they don't want people getting into fights over stuff. Like, if you talk about the stuff, you got to go take it somewhere else. Otherwise, people get angry. And then it's already really bad when someone loses all their money. But then, like, everybody at the table basically knew what he was talking about. And for those that aren't familiar, he was talking about the episode in which they just depict men having gay sex quite a bit. And he was like, what was that? Like, why did they do? It's one thing if you have a gay relationship. It's another thing to actually show the gay sex. And so, like, someone then made a joke and they were like, dude should have just kicked him out of the house before he started playing the piano. So the story, for those that haven't seen it, it's been a few weeks now. Guy is a prepper. He lives by himself for years. He catches a guy one day in a pit trap. And the guy's like, look, I'm hungry, looking for food. I mean you no harm. And he's like, okay, fine, come in, get cleaned up. And then he decides to cook food for him. They have a nice meal. One guy's gay, one guy's not. But then he's so desperate and lonely that the gay dude plays the piano and the guy's all sad. And then the gay guy kisses him. And then he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, let it happen. And then they show it. And then it's just like the whole episode was literally about that. And it wasn't in the game. Like in the game, apparently it was like briefly mentioned as a character's backstory, but that was about it. And they go into full detail and it's just like, yo, when regular people tell me this stuff is, he called it disturbing. And then he said to me, he doesn't understand why this kind of stuff keeps happening. Yo, it's not just about your content, your media, your TV shows. If you're wondering why your banks are failing, it's because these organizations are prioritizing wokeness, weird, disparate ideologies over meritocracy. And so, in this instance with Credit Suisse, this is from 2018. So I don't know if this guy, I'm assuming this guy is still here because that's what people are saying. Jordan Schachtel says, the head of global markets at Credit Suisse is a mentally ill, gender fluid man who sometimes believes he wakes up as a woman. Well, I don't know if that's true. Gender dysphoria is a mental disorder according to the DSM-5. I don't know if that's true. But he posts a Pips Bunce, the LinkedIn. So apparently the photo is from LinkedIn and it still is correct. Look, I don't care if this guy wants to do these things or feels this way. He can do whatever he wants. They, she, whatever. I have no beef. But I'm telling you right now, if you're wondering why it is that these industries are failing, why businesses are going under, it's because these people would prefer that the world be this way instead of the work. So I would say, I don't know if this individual is mentally ill. I actually don't know if that's true. Just because somebody wants to play dress up or cosplay or wear drag or whatever does not imply, in my opinion, mental illness. But it does imply to me that these people get these jobs and these positions of power so they can inject their ideology and their wokeness into industry. And then when given an opportunity, will prioritize it over the work they have to do. For me, this is the work I have to do. Speaking about what I believe in, pushing back on the insanity is literally the work that I have to do. And that's, well, thankful to all of you. So become a member at timcast.com if you support the work that I do. You know, I really got to remember to do those promos because I used to do it once a day. And now that I switched everything to this channel, I've not done any promos. So become a member at timcast.com if you want to see us do more stuff like this. The one thing I can say is I hope you were all seeing this as a white pill moment. Netflix is outright showing off that after getting rid of this weird pregnant man stuff and like embracing Dave Chappelle, they're actually starting to make money. And you know what? I say we reward them for it. Now, hold on there a minute. I do want to point this out. The pregnant man thing wasn't trans, woke, or anything like that. It was literally just a movie about a guy who one day all of a sudden gets pregnant and they're like, how does this happen? How is it possible? It's not woke. It's like the movie Junior. You ever see Junior with Arnold? And then like they impregnate him for some reason? It's a joke. It's a joke. They do this stuff. But there is a lot of stuff they're getting rid of, like the Netflix canceling the non-binary bull show. They're outright saying, can that garbage? Nobody wants to watch it. And you know what really bums me out? Netflix had a show called The Order, and it was about werewolves and vampires. And the bad guys were communists, and they canceled the show. And I'm like, yo, we need to bring that show back. I'm not kidding. So it's like, quite literally, a communist is mad that people have magic powers or whatever, and is like, I will steal the powers because I'm a communist or whatever. And I'm like, this is getting pretty good. I like this. I'll tell you, when people complain about politics in TV shows and movies, they're wrong. I want more politics in my shows and movies. I just don't want wokeness. I want a movie where the hero's like, America, and he waves the American flag. I'm being somewhat facetious. I'm kidding. What I do want is, I like the idea that a TV show mentions that communists are bad too. Okay? That's politics in TV. They go to the guy's house and they find like a book, and the book's like the Communist Manifesto or something. And they're like, this guy's ideologically driven. He's nuts. He's far left. And they're at a college, no doubt. I say more of this stuff. More pointing out that extremist ideologies are bad and we need sound, reasonable discussion. That's the good news. Netflix is nuking this stuff. And the bad news, I guess, is the global banking system may collapse because these big banks are prioritizing all of this more than, doing their jobs and running their businesses. But hey, if y'all want to keep voting for it, Fine by me. I am going to be prepared, as it were. I'll leave it there. I don't know what time I'm putting this clip up, whatever, because I'm doing this thing where every day I'm going to try and make an extra clip to get them up on Friday. So we have a Friday show for you because I'm also doing the Culture War podcast. But check out the Culture War podcast, youtube.com/Timcast at 1 p.m. And it's going to be really, really fun and interesting. I'll leave it there. And thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all next time.